Get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. The recap you've been waiting for is here. Illinois 88, Purdue 82 in one of the best games I have ever seen. Extremely high level stuff offensively from pretty much everyone. A generational performance from freshman Katon Waggler, 46 points on 17 shot attempts. Braden Smith with 27 and 12 of his own, going toe to toe. Lead changes back and forth. A great crowd in Mackey Arena. This is one of those games where you just feel appreciative that this is what we do. I feel just excited to have this conversation with you, and I loved watching every second of this game. So let's do the ad read before we get into it, and who knows how the hell long we'll be here. This is brought to you by Tinker Coffee. Go to tinkercoffee.com, enter promo code SLEEPERS, get 15% off your first order of Tinker. Cart, say something.
Listen, Tinker is the best coffee. That was one of the best games in college sports that I've seen this year. It truly is exactly what I need, to be honest with you. Even though we're doing this at night, so I am not currently indulging in a Tinker, it will be warm and ready for me in the morning. Shout out to the Zing Blend. I'll see you in probably a few short hours, given how long this is going to go. But without further ado, actually, go to tinker.com, tinkercoffee.com. That is, use promo code SLEEPERS, get 25% off on your recurring orders, and get 15% off on your first order. Let's go ahead and get to the recap, though.
We were talking before this started that we think we could do like 90 minutes on each of these teams individually with everything we have to say and question and debate coming out of this game. We're going to try our best to keep this a somewhat reasonable time, but I appreciate anyone who's signing up for the endeavor to listen to this with us. We're going to start with Illinois, the winning team, as we always do. Talk positives for Illinois as thoroughly as we can. At some point, we will flip to Purdue. And if we want to kind of go back and forth along the way, that's great. But let's start with Illinois. Katon, 46 points in 39 minutes, 13 for 17 from the floor, 9 for 11 from three, 11 for 13 from the free throw line, 4 assists to 3 turnovers, 1 foul. The only thing he didn't do was rebound. He did not pull one in, which honestly was a little bit of a surprise given how little Purdue seemed to be rebounding in this game. I digress. In terms of shot making, I've never seen anything like that. I don't know if any of us have, and it might just be deadened a little bit by the fact that a different freshman, Kingston Flemings, went for 40 right around this time. AJ DePonce had 40 later that night, but just in terms of Big Ten basketball performances, I don't think I have ever seen a player that good in a basketball game ever. I think that's the best individual game I have ever seen. Your thoughts?
Yeah, call it recency bias. I'm also a person that's very forgetful. That was the greatest Big Ten performance that I have seen, truthfully, given everything that I think went into it, right? This is Katon Waggler, a lower rated freshman, right? A lower rated freshman who is coming into Mackey for the first time, one of the hardest places to play in college basketball, playing against a Purdue team that is coming off a loss. And he comes in there and gives you 46 on 17 shots and made it look easy. Truthfully made it look easy in what he did. And him having that big time of performance is, I mean, I don't really know how else to put it. It is, if not the best, it is one of the best performances I've ever seen in a Big Ten basketball game. That's it. There's no other way to really put it.
Yeah, I was in the Discord before this game comparing him to Nick Stauskas. Never saw Nick do that. I mean, Brad Underwood's compared him to Io, to Terrence Shannon in terms of the competitor that he is. Never saw those guys do that. I mean, I just have never seen that. I've never seen a player on pace for 50. I mean, that's what he was. He had 40 with like 9 minutes left in this game. And I think the only reason he didn't eventually get to 50 was because Purdue did tinker with their defensive strategy late and finally switched some things up away from the switching that they had done. So this is one of those moments where I think we're going to have to talk about what Purdue did defensively to get through the Waggler performance. we're going to break our own rule here a little bit. Like a big part of this game was simply what Purdue was trying to do defensively against Illinois. But before we go down that path, I just want to make one thing abundantly clear. This was such high level shot making, it almost kind of deafens the criticism on any sort of defensive game plan. Like,
Mhm.
I think it is fair to criticize and question why they were going about it a certain way, but like, no matter what we do in a moment on that, you should not ever expect this guy to hit these shots. I mean, these were from the logo. These were cross, hand in the face. These were special shots, and for 40 minutes too. That's the thing. He started. He did this early in the game. He sustained it for the first half. You're like, okay, he's got to cool off at halftime. No way. He came out in the second half doing the exact same thing. This kid is relentless and he is special. And his fallen teammate, Kylan Boswell, who isn't in this game, like so much of this was how is Katon going to step up with Kylan out, right? All the questions like personnel, what does this mean opportunity wise? Is Petrovic going to get a chance? Is it more Jake Davis? Is it other guys? No, it just means Keaton's going to go every single possession now. And this might be what follows when you put that much on his plate. Pretty sensational stuff. And back to what I was saying about Kylan. In the offseason, Kylan told us before anybody told us. In
Mhm.
October, Kylan was the first person out loud to say, man, if he stays 2 years even, he's going to be one of the greatest Illinois players ever.
Mhm.
The only thing Kylan got wrong is he don't need to stay more than 3 months, and he already is one of the greatest Illinois players ever. This is cemented in stone, Cart.
Yeah, I mean, also another thing that he said in the summer, Kylan said straight up, just so you know, he's cold. He's cold. And we should have took back when he said it, I was like, I believe it because Kylan just came out and said it. He's cold. That ain't no coach speak right there. But it really needs to be appreciated what this dude did in Mackey in the situation, being the freshman that he is, and doing it efficiently too, by the way. Like 46 on 17 shots is ridiculous. True, like we are talking about a college basketball game here. Dudes don't just go I mean, I know a lot of dudes went for 40 this past, but like there was 50 ball was on the table. Very much on the table. Like it was truly crazy, crazy, crazy performance. And Illinois, they needed all 46 too, by the way. Like I know I know some other guys played well in this game, but it was a high scoring, high level basketball game. You and I coming into this, we asked for a classic game. I didn't know we were going to get this, but I'm glad that we did because it was both ways. It was Katon going against Braden, but Katon stole the show. He was the best player in Mackey,
It's the best performance I've ever seen.
truly. I mean, if someone wants to come out and say a better one they've seen, I'll listen to it, but I can't recall one as good as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think individual stuff that even comes to mind. Like I saw some pretty absurd Denzel Valentine triple doubles. I think Braden's play even in the last 2 weeks, including in this game, has
Mhm.
been pretty sensational. I mean this was a Saturday full of great performances. Your point guard this year, Fears, had 17 and 17. I've seen Trey Burke at his best. I've seen 30 balls from guys. I've seen 40 balls from guys. Not like this.
Yeah.
Not in this moment. Not in Mackey Arena, the toughest place to play, arguably in the country, at least in the Big Ten these last 5 years. Not in a must-win game for both teams. And we can
Right.
talk about the implications of where this heads for Purdue. Everything is still technically in front of them, but we said it in the preview. Whoever loses this game, I don't think can win the league outright. I still feel that way. Hand up if I'm wrong, but they're gonna have to like win out. They're 2 games behind Fred Hoiberg because
Mhm.
they couldn't stop a 6'6" freshman from Shawnee, Kansas, 45 minutes from Bill Self, no matter what they tried. And
Yep.
they tried. they threw the kitchen sink at him in ways, and they had nothing for him. Um, should we do the defensive game plan stuff now? Probably should.
I mean, it played a massive part in what Keaton was able to do, so I feel like we have to.
It was the story of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, this was such a drastic approach from Purdue that I just think if you're trying to tell the story of this game, it was the game. What
Mhm.
they decided they were going to do on Keaton And then what Katon did in response is the entire story of this game. Of course,
Yes.
what I mean by that is Purdue coaches said we're going to switch everything, like dummy action, not even real ball screen, like just if two guys cross paths at all, we are going to switch everything.
Hmm.
Now, I will say, and I think you and I own this as best we can. We don't come on here and act like we're film gurus, right? This is an entertainment show more than it is an analytical eye on college basketball. We are reactionary in nature. We have fun with this. I think my takes on what teams and coaches should do are often not right. And sometimes I have to come back around and listen to smarter people. There are a bunch of people I would consider smarter than myself that were at this game in person and or are online and either are defending this strategy and or saying, hey, it made sense. I get why they're doing it. Speaking for myself, I'm baffled. I have no idea how Purdue scouted this Illinois team, add in the fact that Kylan is gone, and decided, hey, the thing that makes the most sense for us is to dare their best player to beat us.
Hmm.
I just fundamentally, completely disagree with that approach. And I know teams do it. In fact, Brad Underwood is one of the coaches who has sort of trademarked this entire thing. If you go through a lot of the biggest Illinois games in recent years, including NCAA tournament losses and upsets in the Big Ten, it's, well, hey, that's our game plan. If this guy wants to get 50 and beat us, we'll tip our cap to him. Respectfully, I don't know that Brad Underwood is the guy you should ever be modeling your defensive decisions behind. And it's kind of ironic to me that this is like, oh, it's the old Brad strategy, ran on a Brad Underwood team. And it got torched for 40 minutes. And after the game, it's not just that Katon goes for 46, but you get out rebounded 33-19. Illinois gets 13 offensive rebounds to 16 Purdue defensive rebounds. We knew how important rebounding was going to be to this game. Illinois is the best rebounding team in the Big Ten or second, depending on how you feel about Michigan State. But that's their whole MO. Every game they send everybody to the offensive glass. It's what they do. And coming into the game, who wins the rebounding battle was a huge part of it. And switching Oscar Cluff and or Trey Kaufman-Renn onto an on fire Katon Waggler with zero resistance and just asking those guys to guard him out to the logo is basically turning the game into a rebounding drill.
Hmm.
And look, Katon didn't miss many shots, but when he did, they got the rebound.
Right.
Because, and even if he didn't, if he kicked to somebody else, Trey and Oscar were still standing outside the 3-point line on these possessions. So I just don't get it. Paint said after the game they lost the game because of rebounding. Okay, my follow-up would be, was that a result of your switching strategy? Seemed pretty clear to me it was. It wasn't like this is just 5-on-5. Your centers were nowhere to be found. They weren't in the paint. So I didn't, even if the rebounding wasn't what it was, I hated this approach in the first place. I tweeted it one possession into the game.
Hmm.
They're switching everything? I'm not going to say I sensed 45 coming, but you damn sure we're going to get 30. If you are going to switch Oscar Cluff on Katon Waggler and dare him to go one-on-one, that's open gym shots. And people can screen grab clips of these contests and make it seem like they're contested. For a player of that caliber, they're not. And this was a tough week for Oscar Cluff, who played a completely different coverage at UCLA and was a huge part of why you lost that game.
Hmm.
So whether you want to blame the coaches for employing it or waiting too late to adjust, or we could even discuss, should they have adjusted when they did adjust? One of Sweeney's points was, I don't know that they should have. Katon was gassed by that point, and you finally went away from it. So I just think it's the whole story of this game. And give all the credit in the world to Katon. Braden said after he's a lottery pick. Oscar Cluff basically said, yeah, I mean, he took 4 step backs from the logo. What are we supposed to do? Not what you did. Not what you did. What did you see?
Well, here's a couple things there because there's a lot packed into that. One, to Oscar's comments, he hit those because have you watched Keaton Waggler?
And
Those aren't
have you watched Oscar Cluff defensively?
those weren't tough. They weren't tough. And look, I get it. Like, here's the thing about it. Like, if you're gonna have that defensive game plan, one, okay, why are you standing on that after you lost? That game plan lost you the game, by the way. Like, if that's how you wanted to win the game, it didn't win you the game. And to your point as well, like they get dominated on the glass. Dominated in this game on the glass. Part of that was because you were switching TKR and switching Oscar Club out on the perimeter. And Keaton was just lulling them to sleep and shooting damn near practice shots. It looked like GAs were getting hands up on them. Like, I get it. I understand, like, oh, it's a three-point shot. Oh, it's deep. For him, those are good shots. He's a pro. He's a pro. He's a pro, and that's what he wants to do. And I get it. Like that, maybe you want to go let Keaton go for 40 and not let anyone else beat you. Well, you also shouldn't have got destroyed on the glass then. Also, there was other guys that had really big shots and performances in this game, by the way. Merkovich, Jake Davis hit a big one. Like, I know that Wagler had 46, but I don't know. Maybe it's me. I could be easily the problem here. I'm not coming out of this game like, oh, that was the game plan. He did it. He beat us. Two thumbs up. Good on you. No, you let a freshman come in and give you 46 for two straight games. You have let a singular player damn near beat you because of your ball screen coverage and your defense. And I get it. Purdue, we're going to hear the Purdue's not a defensive team. If you're not a defensive team, you at least got to rebound then. At the crib, getting out rebounded 33 to 19 is insane with Oscar Cluff and Trey Kaufman right on the floor.
Right. And I get how it can be flipped. No, keep going. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Here's the thing. I'm mad at Cluff and TKR for not rebounding, but at the same time, I can feel a little bit for them because they aren't even down low to battle for the rebounds because they weren't there.
Right.
You switched them. You
Right.
switched them out there and they were out on an island and you had two slow-footed players against Keaton Waggler, an NBA a pro, and your decision was to switch your slow-footed bigs on him and let them guard him one-on-one.
Right.
I just I'm on the same page as you. I hear what people are saying. I hear like let one guy go off. I just in my heart of hearts, I would never think that that's a game plan I would feel great about. Letting the NBA player do whatever he wants.
Right. Right. Now, again, I understand where the people defending this are coming from. I just vehemently disagree with it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I do too. But the thing is, it's not singular. That's the thing. Like, it's not just ball screen coverage. It's also everything else that comes with it.
right.
You didn't just look like Keaton whooped your ass. You also couldn't. You also got your ass whooped on the glass
Right.
by David Merkovich, who's a freshman as well. You let freshmen come in here and punk you.
This entire strategy basically put the two of three things that Illinois wants to do well and does every game well on a platter for them. Like there was zero resistance to it. They let them basically get mismatches for their one mismatch hunting superstar best player. And I get they have other guys who can hunt mismatches. Andre can too. But like he's just the top of the scouting report. And if he's not, he should be. And I almost feel like he wasn't. I almost feel like Purdue just didn't think he was capable of this. Otherwise, I have no idea why you employ a strategy that also puts you at such a deficit on the boards. It's the two things Illinois wants to do most: mismatch hunt and dominate offensive rebounds. And this decision basically looked Brad Underwood's team in the eyes and said, go for it. I don't think you can do it. And they ended up executing way better than Purdue did on that. It's just crazy to me. I don't, and it's coming off the heels of the UCLA one
Mhm.
in which we said a lot of these similar things. Like, I don't know what this staff believes Oscar Cluff's capabilities are.
Mhm.
I think they think he's like a mobile guy that can get out and move his feet on the perimeter. They're asking him to do things he can't do against players at a higher level than him that he shouldn't be put in positions to do. And then you're taking away the whole thing that he does well. He's arguably the best rebounder in the sport, and you don't even get the benefit of that. So I'm completely baffled by it. Again, I understand why there are people defending it, and if I could make their point for them for a second, let's just say it. Keaton had 46 on 17 shots, and we led with 3 minutes left. Like that is crazy.
Mhm.
Like it was this close to working. But I would also point out, I mean, the hard part about this is when they did go away from it, the few times they went away from it,
Mhm.
Illinois' role players did hit shots.
Right.
So like I get it. It's not exact. We were texting Sweeney, who was in the building in the middle of this. Like, am I clueless? Like, I see you tweeting you would run this back in the second half. What are you seeing in person that I'm not? And
Mhm.
then right when I texted him that, like Merck hit his first three of the game.
Mhm. Well,
So
to that point though, like the Jake Davis one, the end of the shot clock in the corner, it's Oscar Cluff closing out on him.
yeah,
It here's what it is. It is if you are going to do the two big thing, right? And two kind of slower footed bigs, you need them to do what they do best to kind of offset some of the deficiencies that happen. Like you're gonna have defensive deficiencies, so you better dominate the glass and you better dominate them and punish them down low, which, you know, I guess that's where I have a hard part coming about this as well because I'm looking at Illinois defensively, and I know we're kind of jumping around here. It's kind of hard not to do it with this game, but quite frankly, I think Illinois' front court is a little bit soft. And you know what? Maybe they proved me wrong in this game because they were certainly not the softer front court in this basketball game.
yeah. I think we're at the point where you have a misread on Merck's portion of that. I understand where you're coming from with the Ivisiches, and I know you've gone all the way around on Merck this year, but I don't know how you watch what he did in this game and think that kid's soft.
He's not. He's not. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
So they can't be a soft front court then if they got that guy. And right now
Fair.
they got that guy. But yeah, I hear your point. I think we laid this out as best we could in the preview that we thought a lot of points could be scored in this game. I still, no matter what defensive strategy Purdue went with in this game, I think Illinois would have found success. They are currently the highest Ken Palm offense in history. And yes, that's the same sentence we said a week ago about Purdue.
Mhm.
Like both these offenses are historically efficient relative to the rest of the sport this year. They're probably going to juggle these all season long. You should expect great offenses to execute against any type of defense that they see. I would also point out, I don't think either one of these teams is great defensively, right? And some of the very specific issues both these defenses have personnel wise mapped perfectly with the offensive strengths. So you
Mhm.
had to get creative. You had to try stuff. I don't think it worked clearly. And I don't get coming out and defending, well, there was no other way to go about this. I just call bullshit on that. I mean, you gave up 1.4 points per possession to Illinois. That's crazy. That's more than they've scored in every other Big Ten game this year. You gave up the same amount of points per possession that Illinois scored against Southern. Like, you can't look me in the eyes. And I feel like people are saying, the defenders who will die on this hill, like, well, that wasn't why we lost. Fine. As good as Illinois is offensively, they're still missing Kylan, and they're not that good that you have to like try something you don't normally do just to have a prayer against them in Mackey Arena. Like, this isn't the Harlem Globetrotters, dude. This is like you basically just served up the one thing they do best repeatedly for 36 minutes and then acted surprised that it happened.
Mhm.
When you could have baited guys who, again, I know they hit shots late in the game, but Stojakovic, Davis, Mirkovic, Ivisic, Hamrikhaus, and Zvonimir combined to go 9 for 27 from three in this game. Those guys did not shoot the lights out in this game. And I guess you can say, well, it's because we switched everything and we made it tough on them. Like, no, you didn't make anything tough. They got open shots still, and they didn't make them. So I just feel like I'm losing my mind, and people criticize us for being results oriented. To me, looking at the scoreboard and saying we only lost by 6, so giving up 46 and only losing by 6 is actually pretty good, is pretty results oriented. And in terms of smart people that are defending this, I know there's a lot. I would encourage everybody, again, I'm shouting him out because he's a friend of ours and we were texting him. Kevin Sweeney was at this game. Him and Fawcett do a great show called Scout Team for the
Mhm.
Basket Under Review guys. They basically pick a team they want to talk about and do 40 minutes of film study on them every week. And it's a great, great watch. They immediately did this game, and it was all about how did they guard Katon? What did they do? And I think for the most part, their takeaway was this wasn't the wrong strategy. Like Sweeney said at halftime, I would run it back. It sounds crazy, but I would. But the takeaway was the execution was trash.
Mhm.
And to paraphrase them, not to give away their magic because you should go listen to it. Basically, it was, hey, for the first 10 minutes, Cluff and TKR actually did a pretty good job. Katon was just hitting some truly crazy ones for the first 10 minutes. Then for the next 20 minutes, tons of mistakes. It
Mhm.
was the same coverage, but for whatever reason, Cluff was getting burned. TK couldn't step out and do it. The other guys were falling asleep off ball. There were mistakes being made. They were botching the switches and giving Illinois advantages every possession for largely the entire middle 20 minutes of this game. And then late, this is the tell. Paint flips it with what, like 5 minutes left?
Mhm.
Paint finally says, you know what? I've had enough. Let's abandon this. Let's let's just hedge, hard hedge, recover. We sent two to the ball a couple times. They tried three different ways to cover these screens. All three of their coverages late were a disaster.
Mhm.
It did not matter what Paint called at that point. They didn't have the players that could execute anything against these guys. So for me, I just feel like we're in a weird spot with Purdue defensively right now. They've dropped all the way down to 30th nationally in defensive efficiency following this game. I think that's trending very clearly in the wrong direction. It doesn't feel like a top 30 defense to me. I think Cluff has been completely exposed in three different coverages this week. And I think any good coach in the Big Ten is going to attack him relentlessly, relentlessly. And I don't think he has an answer. I think he's too slow and he's not a defender at this level. And your other guy's TK, who's the same way. So you have at all time, and you're trying to play Fletcher with him. What are you supposed to do, man? Like, so I guess I don't know. I think I'm spiraling and rambling. I guess where I'm at on this is this. It was the execution, not even the strategy, but I also hated the strategy. And I think Paint set this up on a tee for Illinois to dominate the boards, get their best player going. You can't tell me, by the way, this is the most aggressive we've seen Katon. He's been brilliant. He hasn't been this aggressive. You can't tell me part of that was because Katon got going early.
Well, no, no, this is what it is, though. This is what makes him so good as a basketball player. He takes what you give him.
Yeah, it makes the right
He,
play.
he makes the right play. So if you are going to switch a big on him and let a slow-footed big guard him, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Every single shot attempt of his in this game was the right play
Yes.
because Purdue basically gave Illinois their best play at will.
Yeah. And maybe you can help me square this away too. Because as I watched this season, I think that like guys like CJ Cox have earned the right to guard these guys, right? And to your point, they were switching when it wasn't even ball screens. They didn't even try to get over them.
Yeah, there were so many switches that didn't need to be switches in this game. Like, if you really want to switch screens, fine. I get that. Like a real action, yes. But this was just like, we're just going to walk by each other because we know Purdue's going to give us the switch we want. You're not making Illinois work at all.
Hmm.
At all. And I think you look on the other end, and again, I don't love Illinois defensively, but I think Braden had to work for his shit. He was getting beat up, and he made some great plays in the second half. But they were tough.
Right. He was hitting middies against drop coverage with like hands in his face. Meanwhile, you're letting a lottery pick go one-on-one with Oscar Cluff on the perimeter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can come on here and say that I get it. I get the strategy about it and the execution of it wasn't great. I understand that. But at the same time, in my head, I'm a simple-minded person, and people say that about me all the time, and they say it in a negative way. But I can't help but look at this and think that you basically left their NBA pro on an island with your bigs that have lead feet. How I honestly credit to Purdue for this game being close.
Right.
I mean, and we'll talk about them when it's time. And Braden was incredible, and other guys had good performances, like Omer off the bench. But you know what? This game being close, I guess this is a point for those guys that came away from this game like that. Yeah, you can go ahead and hang the banner for that.
Well, I just think this staff's done a terrible job defensively this year. And
It's two games, but like 2 games in a row, it's just been so evident.
I think we're coming off a year where, to Painter's credit, in the middle of the season he completely revamped the defense and it saved the season. Right? They abandoned what they normally do defensively in the middle of last year to go into like a much more ball pressure oriented scheme, trying to force turnovers. It required more activity from their guards. And it worked for 2 months. And then everybody figured it out and it fell apart late. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it kind of revived the season. It was good. It was good. This year, dude, what do they even want this team to be defensively? Are they coming to every single game with a completely different coverage than the last game? Like, do you have any sort of base principle? This is what we do. What is your defensive identity this year?
That's what's confusing to me as well, because here's the thing, a team that doesn't have the soldiers or the guys to be a great defensive team, you shouldn't be a team that tries different things defensively. At least do what you can do best and try to out offense people. Like, I'll put it in these terms. Michigan State, one of the best defensive teams in the country, or Houston, one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're so good defensively because they can change their defense to who they're playing against.
Right,
You can't ask a defense that isn't good to do things that they're not good at.
right,
Like, shit, if I was Cluff or TKR, like, of course I'm not gonna be like, why are we doing this? But I would be like, really? That's what you're doing to me?
right.
Like, it just I'm baffled by it. I'm baffled by it, especially like the decision in the moment, but also the decision given that you have to look at the bigger picture here, what happened last game.
Well, and the rebounding thing is a direct correlation to this. Like you
Oh yeah, for
can't
sure.
you like it
It's
the
it, it, it
coverage.
it's a direct correlation, but I also at the same time don't want to take away from the fact that Illinois just whooped their ass on the
Yeah,
glass,
they
like
earned
straight
them.
up.
They earned them for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe if you want to, I guess if we're just like digging deeper and deeper for more excuses for Purdue on this, I think we should probably just cut the shit and stop making excuses. But like, if you want to dig up an excuse for Matt Painter on this, maybe it's, well, honestly, I thought they were just going to out rebound us anyway. That's not what he said, but I don't know why else you would be comfortable switching. Do you want your centers to try and hold in the rebounding game or not?
Mhm.
You like coming up with a strategy basically say, oh, I think we'll get our boards anyway from other guys. Our guards will rebound with Illinois, who is top 10 in the country in both sides rebounding and sends five to the glass every possession. It's crazy to me. It makes no sense. It didn't make sense on the first possession of the game to me, which is when I first called it out. And it certainly didn't make sense as Katon got hotter and hotter and hotter. With that said, they did adjust late. Again, I think that's the tell, right? They like Sweeney's point was this. Katon was visibly gassed by the end of this game.
Mhm.
If there was even one little thing that worked about this strategy, it's that it did wear Katon out. By the end of the game, he was visibly tired.
Well, but like I don't know, like also looking at this, I think and now it was early in the year. I think Keaton's games where he struggled, it was teams being physical with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, like, why not maybe an earlier adjustment? Why not like a double or a hard hedge or a blitz it? And like, okay, if Andrei Stojakovic starts hitting threes, if Big T starts hitting threes, then you adjust from that. I just rather adjust to that than let Keaton do what he did first and then figure it out with 5 minutes left. Even though, and maybe the game being close, honestly, probably made them feel better about not changing it up. They should have changed it up a lot earlier.
Yeah. And look, the game was still winnable. So to me, it's a lot more about execution failures from guys than it is the strategy. But the strategy certainly made it as hard as possible for this team to get stops. Didn't help them at all. And I
Mhm.
think the reality is this Purdue defense has personnel that are going to be on the floor together all year that are going to need your help. They're going to need the coaches to put them in spots where they're asked to do things they're capable of that benefit their strengths. And I think this is back-to-back games. The Purdue staff failed them in that regard. Did you think that they should have switched when they did switch? The coverage, I mean. They were switching all game with roughly 5 minutes left in this game. That's when, with Katon, like, I don't know, like holding his knees,
Mhm.
that's when they say, you know what, now let's hedge. Now let's try some other things. We're getting beat. Um, I guess I'll just give you my 2 cents quickly. That was the only part of the game I think it would have made sense to stick with the coverage you did.
Mhm.
If that's me that came with that game plan, number one, it never would have been. But number two, I would have abandoned it at halftime at the latest.
Yeah. I mean, at halftime, I'm getting out rebounded by 7, and Katon Waggler is 24.
And Purdue
So
people will say, well, we were up at half. We were up four. But like, I can't believe they came out at half and said that was working. Let's keep doing that.
yeah, it wouldn't make sense. I mean, you made it earlier, and it's a very key point. Rebounding was so important in this basketball game, and you didn't put yourself in the best position to be the best rebounding team.
Yeah. It's just baffling to me. It really was. And I think guys were visibly frustrated. I mean, we've talked a lot at points about how Purdue is a team that throws their hands up when guys make shots.
Hmm.
Like daring Illinois' most prolific shot maker to make shots going to lead to some frustration from your team that gets very frustrated when guys make shots against you. So
Right.
I just don't know,
I mean,
man.
they hit 18 threes in this basketball game.
And they were always going to bomb them one way or the other. It's just you can't convince me we want 11 threes from Wagler more than you want Mark shooting threes. Or like, like why do you want that guy to lead the team in shot attempts?
It makes no sense.
It's
I'm
just not.
sorry.
It's something I will never believe is a championship level defense. If
Right.
if you come into games saying what that team does best, oh, we'll live with that. Rather than trying to find ways to disrupt it, I fundamentally disagree with that approach.
I do too, but if I have to play, let me see it through their lens. I guess here's how I would play it. Um, what about the other stuff then? What about the other stuff?
What do you mean?
Like I'm saying the rebounding, the like everything else. So what about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you lost too. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole pat myself on the back, that was a good game plan. Get, you know what I'm saying? Give him a tap on the butt, good game. All right. Like, how many times are you gonna keep on doing that then? Did we do
Yeah.
that last game with Donovan Dent and Billadau, and then whoever you're playing next? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Darian DeVries is the great. I think he's an awful coach. You're telling me that he doesn't want to get Lamar Wilkerson switched on one of these guys?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see how they approach the Indiana game. Like all eyes on what coverage they think they decide. But this reeks of like the football team that knows they can't get stops. So like every other game, they try something completely new.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this game we're going to play man coverage in the secondary. The whole game we're not going to change. And then next game we're going to play zone. We're going to blitz. The whole game we're not going to change. It's like this says a lot about what you are defensively. If it's changing every game, there's no consistency. There's just no base. This is what we do well because there's nothing you do well right now. It's crazy.
Here's the very hard part about that. It's extremely hard to win a national championship like that.
Well, I tweeted out after this game that both these teams I think could win the national championship. I stand by this. I believe they could.
I
In
think they
fact,
could. For what it's worth, I think they can too. But it's very hard if you have like I'm damn near gimmick. Like you can make a Final Four, you can make a national championship game like that. I think it's hard to get across the finish line if you are a little bit gimmicky.
yeah, I mean, history says the top offense, 30th best defense team is not the team you want to back to win a national title. And the hard part is this applies to both these teams right now.
Mm,
They're basically identical offensively. Illinois slightly better, but a week ago Purdue was better. And they're both Illinois right now is 29th in the country defensively in adjusted defensive efficiency. Purdue's 30th. Like every game, both these teams are just will outscore you. Like I love it. It's fun. This was the most fun game I've watched in my life. Loved it. Thank you. But yeah, it was hard to watch without being like, what are either of these teams trying to do defensively? I thought
Well,
at least Illinois had an answer to that. I hated Purdue's
but
answer.
to Illinois' point, though, they have the 29th best defense. They also are the fourth best offensive rebounding team in the sport.
Right, they do. And Purdue's numbers there are falling fast.
That's what I'm saying. So if you are not gonna get stops, you at least got to do other things. Find extra possessions. Be good on the like when you do get stops, actually rebound the damn ball.
Yeah.
At least Illinois is doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yep. For sure. Okay. Um,
did we give enough credit to Illinois?
we're gonna do a lot more on Illinois in just a moment. I think we had to spend roughly 50 minutes on what the hell was that game plan. Truly.
Are we
Like,
wrong? Maybe we're just wrong, but I don't know. I can't. I tried to get there. I tried everything I could to get there. You let a guy come in and score 46. I don't care if that was the game plan. It was a bad game plan.
or yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the in-game adjustments. The bottom line is their initial plan didn't work, so they kept doing it and doing it and doing it while it didn't work, and then they adjusted late and the adjustment didn't work. And like yeah, you can't give any
It's
credit to
it,
anything on the coaching side
it's
for
the same point I said at the UCLA game. I said this when we were talking about the recap on that. I just have a hard time believing that at some point of that UCLA game, maybe an assistant didn't come over like, "Hey, Payne, maybe we should try something different." Or
well,
Painter himself was just like, "Maybe we should try. Maybe this isn't it."
you made this point briefly, and I said it live during the game, and people in the Discord got really mad at me in the Purdue channel. If CJ Cox is who y'all say he is, what are you doing with this strategy? If he is the CJ Satchel guy that we've given credit to all year, who's put elite guards in his pocket a lot, why would you not try that? I flat out don't get it. And we have seen him have success against those guys. But I don't understand it. They were so content. I mean, I think CJ guarded Keaton like two full possessions in this game.
Yeah.
And one of them was the final play of the game, by the way, where Keaton hit the dagger. But that was, to me, the toughest shot Keaton hit all day was the one that CJ actually made him work for. So,
Right. They were content. They were content to switch. There was no type of anything to fight over. They were content.
right. And by the way, a less disciplined Illinois team or a less disciplined team than Illinois would let them get away with it.
Hmm.
But this goes back to what you said about what makes Keaton so special. It's not just the shot making. He always makes sure his team gets the right shot. The right play is made every single time. Every single time. And when you give something that obvious to him in front of him, even if it's him calling his own number, it's just going to be the right shot every time. And I think they do deserve some credit. You know, this was a game that ended up 63 possessions. You score 88 points in 63 possessions against one coverage for most of it. Like, there was no complacency. Even when they were down early, they stuck with what worked. They rode the hot hand late, and then when Purdue finally did make an adjustment, credit the role players for stepping up. We can start to go individually through some guys, but I guess what I'm saying, I think a dumber basketball team or a more selfish basketball team or even just a sloppier basketball team probably lets Purdue get away with this. Like, oh, you want to switch Cluff on us? Yeah, I've been picking on Cluff too much. Let me go pick on like CJ a little, you know?
Right.
Like,
Well, you know how they would get away with this
how?
if Kasparis was the point guard.
Right. I don't think Kasparis would have punished this at all.
No,
But
but
Keaton did.
like giving the most cerebral right play player in the country free reign to go one on one. It's just listen. What's the dodgeball quote? Bold strategy, Cotton. See if it works out for him.
Well,
And
the tell to me, to the people out there who are like, well, I think they would do this again. I think it was the right decision. Fine. The tell to me is they went away from it in crunch time. Why would Paint go away from it in crunch time? If it's the right decision and you're willing to live with those shots, why would he go away from it when Keaton was visibly gassed? Because I think there was a little bit of admission of shit, this didn't work at all.
yeah.
So,
What do
like,
what do you think was a tipping point when he got 40?
when he had 42 with 4 minutes left.
Mm.
I mean, look, they don't play each other again. I wish they went to State Farm. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see this game with a healthy Kylan and with some different adjustments from Payne.
Yeah, maybe we see it again in the Big Ten tournament.
If we do see it in the Big Ten tournament, do you think they bring the same defensive philosophy to that game?
You want to know what's crazy? I think they do.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would. Why do you think they would?
Because I just watched them do it for 2 games straight, and everything that I heard afterwards, and maybe I don't see everything like, sometimes that it said post game, but I feel like there was no admission of that wasn't the right move.
Keaton admitted it. Keaton said, "Yeah, I mean, I think the switches had a huge part of why I had so much space." He literally said that. So,
But no, I'm talking about this from a Purdue, like from
oh
a
no,
Purdue
I know.
standpoint. I truly like I truly think there is a little bit of, hey, that's what we wanted. They did it and they beat us. Good on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same MO that seems to ring true in a lot of Purdue losses through the last 2 years. Because there's only been 3 losses this year, but last year there were a lot. And it always feels like everyone involved is just like, I mean, those are the shots we wanted them to take. Okay?
It's also a lot different too. Like I look at it through this lens because I know a lot of people did this with Edie. They're like, just let Edie just get his 40 or something like that. Is it like different in that scenario because it's like 2 pointers? I don't know. I'm trying to like because I feel like I was a a victim of that as well. I was like, well, what's Michigan State's best chance in this one? Shit, I don't know. Let Edie go for 40 and don't let anyone else do anything.
Yeah. I mean, it feels to me like Purdue used to play a ton of drop. And for whatever reason, this week they said we're not doing any drop against Dent or Illinois. I still don't know why. And now I get it. Drop coverage is also giving Katon Waggler open shots, right? Maybe this is the takeaway. There is no coverage that is just going to work against Katon. He's Katon Waggler.
Hmm.
So we can sit here debating whatever they wanted to do was probably not going to work. Keaton's amazing. He'll pick any coverage apart. But to me, yeah, thematically, if you tried either drop or even like soft hedging, you keep your bigs closer to the rim for the rebounding battle, matched up with their traditional matchups. You're blocking out Tommy with Cluff, you're blocking out Merck with TKR, rather than those being all messed up every possession. And then I think if you're baiting Waggler into shots, if that's something you decide you have to live with for whatever reason, isn't CJ Cox chasing really aggressively, trying to force him into pull up twos way better than let's have this dance with Cluff for three all game?
Right. At least he has the thought that there's two, like, damn near coming at him, kind of, somewhat. Like, I don't, like,
And two is less than three. Like,
two is less than three. Also, like, just not a numbers guy whatsoever. But in my head, okay, if even like if a Jake Davis or a Big T or a Merck starts torching me from three, then maybe you adjust. But I'd much rather give those guys a go at it besides Keaton Waggler.
again, those guys shot 9 for 27 from three. And
Yeah,
maybe
you mentioned it. What would you do in this game defensively, game plan wise?
so. Again, I'm not saying this would have stopped Illinois. They're the best offense in the sport. I don't think anything was going to stop Illinois if you're trying to play Cluff and Fletcher and Trey together, which you are. That's your team. Your personnel are going to have issues against Illinois.
Mhm.
I think what I would have done is one of two things. Or I guess two things simultaneously. I think you could have switched everything on the other guys and left CJ on Keaton.
Mhm.
That is absolutely something good defenses are capable of doing. Hey, we'll switch all these matchups. We won't switch this one.
Mhm.
You do not just have to switch Fletcher Lawyer and Oscar Cluff onto a lottery pick because you decided to switch. You don't have to do it. Again, go watch the cut-ups. They were switching just basic walking across the court movements. There was no real action being done to force these switches.
Mhm.
Um, to me, I think you just asked CJ to work harder, and he wasn't asked to. I'm not saying he didn't work hard. Ask CJ to get through that shit. CJ's not leaving Keaton. We have one elite perimeter defender. They have one elite score first shooting threat because that's not what Andre is. And we're going to use him on him. He has to take that matchup and he has to step up and do it. And if you want to switch everything else, then I think you probably could have baited Andre into a ton of shots. And Illinois people will probably tell you, we would have loved that. We would have feasted it. Oh, you're going to give us Andre on Fletcher? We'll kill that. But the thing is, they could have gotten that in this game too if they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You're still switching whoever you want on Andre too. So
Right.
they just picked the more efficient option.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would have done. You have to start with CJ on him. I think you could have hedged slightly and or played drop. I wouldn't have even cared when Keaton's running screens with CJ on him. But yeah, take away the 3-point line from Keaton clearly is something you should be doing, not baiting him into those shots. And then give your rebounders a chance. And to the other guys, I would have if you're telling me in one bucket, make Keaton beat you, in the other bucket, make everybody else beat you. And Sweeney said that too, right? He was watching it courtside. He said, well, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Do you want Keaton to beat you or the other guys? I'll answer that. The other guys. What are we doing? This team doesn't have Kylan right now.
Yeah.
Like, this team didn't look unstoppable against Maryland the whole game. Like, we have games of footage of Illinois not being this good.
Right.
And they're good. They are good. But they're not the Harlem Globetrotters. I feel like Paint came into this game with so much respect for the other guys. Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude, we can't let Benham Rickhouse beat us.
Right.
And you just like blinded yourself from the obvious. It's crazy.
Right. It's like that's what I'm saying. You just if Ben Rickhouse starts beating you, then I much rather tip my hat to Ben Rickhouse than Katon Waggler beating me. And I know you mentioned it briefly, but I also do want to say this. I feel like there's this notion too that when you like, and shout out to Sweeney and Foster because they said this in their little review thing that they did. Like when you switch to, it looked like Purdue was relaxing. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't a fight, there wasn't a screen. Like you switch when there's an actual screen. And also the dude that's checking who's switching on that, be ready. Especially if the guy that's you're checking is Katon Waggler. Because once he's on that big ass Purdue P that's at the logo, he's in his range. That P is not that far from NBA range. All right. Like he's in his range there. And when he's coming off a switch, no one on his hip. No one even waiting there for him. He's got a guy with his toes on the 3-point line. He's gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
That's an easy play, an easy shot for him. I don't get it. I truly don't.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I guess in conclusion to all this, I don't think there was a perfect answer. Illinois is elite offensively. There were personnel issues that were going to make any coverage they ran have problems. But if the answer is, you know what, we're perfectly okay to let Keaton be as comfortable as possible, he can't beat us. I think it was misguided from the jump. I think it very clearly, tangibly put you in a terrible position for rebounding, which was one of the keys to the game, if not the key to the game. And I think it's just fair to say Brad Underwood outcoached Matt Painter,
Yeah.
which I like Brad. He's a great coach. X's and O's schematically would never have believed that was coming.
Yeah.
So here we are. I think this is an 0-2 week for Purdue where I have huge questions for the coaching staff coming out of both losses. And one more hypothetical thing while we're talking about hashtag really smart people. I know because we're stupid. We're really dumb. There's a lot of really smart people out there to tell us things. Did you see Newbert's take tonight?
About Kylan being there would have.
Yeah, gonna read this. There's some crazy stuff being said, I think, everywhere. Newbert, who's also fighting with Glenn Kinley, the Illinois media guy, who we also like. He said on one of his goldenblack.com shows, and by the way, go support him. Go consume all that content. Brian Newbert is on the beat of this Purdue team as good as anybody. He's the guy. He said after this game, had Kylan Boswell played in this game, Purdue probably wins by a large margin. Your thoughts?
No. Are they doing the same thing they did?
Yeah, what about Kylan being on the court in this game would change the fact that Purdue wanted Oscar Cluff switching on Katon the whole game?
Yeah, also, here's a thought too. Kylan would have been fully rested and just playing defense in this basketball game.
Right,
He wouldn't have to do anything else.
right. And
If
Newbert
any, if any,
responded.
if anything, it would have made it tougher on Purdue's offense.
Newbert responded because somebody called him out on this, and he quote tweeted it and said, "This dude here thinks Waggler gets 46 without the ball in his hands every single play. Smart guy." That was Brian's analysis. So I guess having your starting shooting guard would somehow make Illinois not want Katon to take the shots he took in this game.
The so he thinks that Boswell would have taken the ball out of his hands. That's I. It doesn't matter who was the defensive coverage by Purdue. The ball would have been the minute that they saw that happen. Because Underwood and them definitely noticed it. They're like, "Whoa, they're doing this." So
Yeah,
they started spamming it. They were like, "Okay, they're going to do this. We're just going to keep on doing this. This is
yeah.
great. We can get Keaton one-on-one. I love this.
It was easy.
This is perfect. This is easy for us. I don't even have to do anything crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep on doing this." If
yeah,
Kyler was out there, he just would have been watching that happen and then
yeah,
guarding on the other end.
yeah. Which, by the way, you want the most tangible impact of what would Boswell have brought to this game. Maybe Braden Smith doesn't finish with 27 and 12 because the elite perimeter defender that Illinois has would have been in his shorts the whole game instead of whatever Purdue was doing with CJ.
Hmm.
Stand in the corner. So to me, that's an asinine take. And someone will probably send this to him and he'll subtweet us again. But he's got his hands full with Illinois media guys that he's currently fighting because I guess that's his MO. First of all, one, why are we doing hypotheticals? Why, like in terms of game analysis, why are we would have beat you if your healthier player was there. Two, that's ridiculous. Like if
It isn't just a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical that we beat him by double digits.
right. And like, God forbid if the moment in time ever comes where Purdue loses one of their best players for a game. It's just like completely classless speculation to act like that guy would hurt the team.
Yeah.
Kylan Boswell has been one of the most consummate winners in the entire sport this year. To act like that's not a major loss for them because of, I don't even know what it's because of, bitterness or just flawed logic. Like it kind of, again, bow on all of this, then we can start to talk about good things with players. Bow on all of this to me, to summarize the entire Purdue world's view of this, from the smart people that say this is what they should have done, to the staff that decided to do it, to the media people covering it, hell, to some of the players in the game playing it, and what Cluff's comments were at the podium after. It all just screams, we have no idea what Illinois is.
Hmm.
It's all rooted in a place to me of surprise that Katon Waggler was capable of this. And Katon was amazing. He gets 30 against this instead of 46. I'd be criticizing it the same way we are.
Hmm.
I think flat out they didn't think Katon was this good. And I guess I don't blame them. Now you know he's this good. But the way this is all being interpreted to me is just like, it's like they've never watched Illinois. It's like they have no idea what Illinois does well or doesn't do well. Newbert clearly has no idea what Boswell's role on the team is. If he thinks he gets in the way of Katon Waggler, like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's just asinine.
Yeah. No other way to put it, quite frankly.
Okay. Love you, Newbert. Everybody go support Ryan Newbert's work while he hates us again. But like, what are we doing with that? Okay. Illinois. Have we given Waggler enough praise?
He had 46, right?
Yeah, I feel like we should spend 46 minutes on just him.
I do two separate recaps, to be honest with you. Oh, he had 46, man.
He's so good.
So good. Glad everybody else got to see it.
I should own up to this. Speaking of bad takes, I'll throw me in the BN category for this one. I floated in the pregame. I think my exact words were, "Are we sure that Keaton's a big game guy?"
Mhm.
And I brought up some game logs where he had his quietest performances this year in the quote unquote biggest games. Feel about as foolish as I've ever felt after this one.
I mean, not a bigger game this year thus far in Mackey against a Purdue team that just lost. I did against the best point guard in the country, Braden Smith.
Does this type of performance from Wagler change the way you view Illinois at all?
Uh, hmm.
Because we're kind of telling Purdue people like, hey, you shouldn't be surprised. The way you guarded him was why this happened. But like, I think for me, if you're trying to figure out what is Illinois going to look like in March,
Yeah.
Keaton's got some Trey Burke shit to him right now of like, oh my God, who else
Well,
would you want in the country? You
yeah,
know?
to also hopefully people that scout this game realize that this isn't the way.
Yeah.
I would hope that people realize that this isn't the way. But I guess my mistake was when I talk about this Illinois team, I always talk about like, other things that are a factor. Don't get me wrong, right? Rebounding, defense, things like that. You also typically, when you have a national championship team, you got to have a pro, like a certified, bona fide star pro. And I feel like I've always thought Keaton was an NBA draft pick, NBA first round draft pick, everything like that. But I feel like I didn't talk about him in that way for like the ceiling of this basketball team. That they have an NBA player. Like that's a massive thing going into like, you know, March and winning a national championship. You typically got to have that. A lot of the teams that win the national championship do have an NBA player.
Yeah. I just feel like there's something from this game that feels almost magical. Like, it's like he's like a unicorn. Like, I don't know. Like that every now and then you go from like great player to like, no, man, he's gonna be one of them ones. Like,
I feel like this was the leap to like we're having conversations of like Keaton Waggler's I went from like, oh, he's gone after this year because he's a first round pick to yeah, I'm taking Keaton lottery to I mean, what guards are we actually taking over Keaton to the fact that like we're having conversations where it's like, how high can Keaton get drafted?
yeah, I mean, I think you could take him as high as fourth, and it wouldn't be crazy right now. Truly, I mean, you're talking Caleb Wilson, him, and Flemings are probably in that next group, 4, 5, 6. I think that's where this is headed. But regardless of NBA future, I'm just talking like I feel very strongly there's some March stuff coming for this kid. I just think we learned something big about his sense of the moment, his poise. I mean, that's been the whole MO. It's his maturity, his decision making. You can't rattle the kid, right?
Right.
Mackey Arena has rattled everyone.
Bro, people visibly piss down their legs in Mackey.
I shake when I walk into Mackey Arena.
But
And
that's what makes it okay, that's once again, I can't move on from this. You have such a great environment, you have such great things going on. Why am I serving shit up on a platter to you?
right.
Why am I making it easy for you? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
but I
Lord.
mean he probably would have made him pay anyway. Just to reframe it though, he went toe to toe with Braden Smith on a night where Braden was amazing. And I think still was thoroughly the best guy on the floor, obviously.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, since Edie's left at least, has there ever been a night where it's felt like Braden Smith isn't the best player on the floor?
No,
I didn't think that was possible.
not in a performance where Braden was playing like that either. That's what I'm saying. It's
Right.
not like Braden was hooping.
Right. I think there's maybe three guys in the entire sport who could go up against Braden's best and outplay him.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of it's like I'm dumbfounded. I'm numb to this. I didn't think this was possible even in the best case version of Keaton, and it is. And it does have me rethinking. I mean, I already had this team in my title game. They were my pick there. And I'm wondering if that's too little at this point. Because they got the baddest dude in the sport in the backcourt spots right now. Him and I still think Braden, it's like 1A, 1B. But like, dude, it might not be crazy at this point, genuinely. it's not crazy to consider Waggler in the Big Ten Player of the Year race now. I mean, Braden's been the favorite and still is the favorite, but after a game like this, how we got to at least think about changing that, don't we?
It's he's in the conversation.
I mean, who knows if he's going to keep this up or he's not going to have 46 again, but like, it's just crazy what he's doing, man. He had 8 assists to 0 turnovers the game before this.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna make the right play. It's all it is. Every single time. You can always count on him making the right play.
Yeah, so cerebral and so fun. Other than Keaton, what stood out to you next for Illinois if we're going down the list? What was the second most important performance they got?
I mean, it's gotta be Merck. It's gotta be Merck in this one. Merck punked Purdue's front court. And in a moment where you came on here talking about hand up, this hand, saying things about this, I have been on record calling this front court soft many a times. Not, not soft. I mean, maybe you could say that they were just tougher than Purdue. Maybe they weren't, maybe say what you want. I'm just go ahead and say it right now. Soft front courts don't come in and out rebound another front court the way they did. And Merck do that in the environment he did it. It is as, it's not, it's going to sound weird saying this. What Merck did is as impressive as what Keaton did from a standpoint of it is a massive moment for you as a player. And what Keaton did was massive. Also, Merck came in there and punked Trey Kaufman ran and Oscar Cluff. Throw any other front court player you want to do in there. But that was the matchup. And he got to every rebound. He out rebounded him. To me, he also mentally, I think, had TKR on the bad. I feel like TKR was trying to show his toughness through other things like chirping and doing other things that are kind of out of character for him, and he let the moment get a little bit too big. Meanwhile, the kid who I said is a wild card, a psycho, kept everything in the mind frame of the game. Everything was just he did what he had to do. He rebounded. He hit 2 big threes in this basketball game. Um, even with the foul trouble, plays 28 minutes. For a guy who I have been critical of, and also a front court that I have, like I said, called soft, they were extremely tough in this game. And Illinois is extremely tough as a team, by the way. Tough teams don't go into Mackey and win down a starter. Say
Yeah.
what you want. Say what you want about that. And like I'll probably get on a preview or a recap or something like that this year when my team plays Illinois, and I'm gonna be like, I think my team can punk them. I might still believe that, but it's just me thinking what I think of my basketball team. Tough basketball teams do what Illinois did in this game, and that's Merck, and that's just them as a team.
Right. I think there would have been fair reasoning to believe that the toughness component of Illinois would go away with Kylan.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite happened. These
God stepped
dudes,
up. That's tough shit.
yeah, dudes rose to the occasion. And there's some psycho energy to it too, right? Like at least with Merck, very clearly. And if you want to argue that maybe it was elevated or raised or instigated a little bit by his matchup, we could do that. But let's call it what it is. Trey Kaufman-Renn was visibly chirping David Mirkovich from the opening tip here
Mm-hmm.
in a very animated way, which I mean, we've watched Trey play for plenty of years. He can be an animated guy. We know that. But like, I haven't recalled too many times that Trey has singled out a player to that extent verbally in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Felt abnormal at minimum. And, as I watched it in real time, it was two things. Number one, Trey was playing well when he was chirping him. He had a couple big plays. And number two, I think, you got to frame it in the context of this is Merck. Merck's a crazy person. And like, maybe Merck said something before this that got Trey a little extra animated. Like, I don't know. I would guess there was just a lot of shit talking going back and forth. But regardless, to respond the way you did after Trey was visibly antagonizing you early,
Mm-hmm.
and then late retake the lead, be punking him on the glass, and then kind of have the Uno reverse card played. Of now it's my turn to point at you and chirp your ass. And there ain't
Mm-hmm.
shit you can do about it. I'm in your crib walking away with a dub.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remember this too. That's a 5th-year senior All-American going up against a freshman.
Yeah.
And he's an international freshman. I get it. But like, this kid is not supposed to be the one that's winning the poise matchup.
Right.
And he did. And that means a lot to me, man. I'm just super in on him. Did you see his comments after the game too?
Yeah, comments after the game were incredible, but I do got to talk a little bit more too, especially like because to me it was the second half that I think it showed itself pretty well. I mean, from the onset, I think the very first play of the second half, um, Merck gets like an offensive rebound tip out to Big T. Big T kicks to Jake Davis. Jake Davis swings one more, and then on the other end of the floor, TKR tries to post up and Merck earlier in the game, he let TKR get to that right hand. On this one, he legit was shading him all the way to his left, welcoming a left-handed jump hook to see if TKR would make that shot. It's just little things like that. It felt like Merck was just so in control in a moment where I would expect him or TKR tried to get him out of control. He tried to antagonize him. He tried to like do the things that Merck wants to do, and I feel like a big portion of this was Merck let his game do the talking, and he was the best post player on the floor.
Yeah. Crazy. But also not that crazy. Merck's pretty special. And he hit big shots when needed. When they did adjust the scheme late, Merck stepped up and hit a big one. Jake hit a big one as well. Um, quiet.
TKR and Cluff had 6 rebounds in this basketball game.
Yes, they did. What they have
Merck had
against?
more rebounds than them. Andrei Stojakovic had more rebounds than them.
Yeah.
Ivisic had more rebounds than them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's quite frankly, I mean, I'm once again we're back to this
Unacceptable.
unacceptable, man.
Well, effort based, I think. Well, and scheme based. This was a mix of both. But
I don't want the scheme base to cover up for the fact that they came in there and brought that shit to their doorstep.
yeah,
They
it,
visibly look tougher.
they did because they might be.
They are.
Yeah, that's the thing. They might just be.
They are.
And that says something. Being
Right.
tougher than a veteran Purdue front court in Mackey is an eye-opening development for Illinois, I think,
Yeah.
for sure. Andre, quiet night for him. Maybe the only guy that didn't really have a moment offensively for Illinois, I would say. 5 points on 9 shot attempts. He went 0 for 3 from 3. 1 assist to 3 turnovers. Honestly, a pretty stinky Andre performance
Yeah.
given the approach. Does
Right.
it matter at all?
I think he rebounded well. I think there was times where he was guarding Braden a lot too, and was just kind of tasked with chasing him and on that drop coverage, making sure he got in there and kind of got a hand up, right? But um, no, I think that Stojakovic still provided things to the team. A lot of it on the glass. I think he contributed a big way to the fact that they dominated the glass.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, pretty stinky Andre performance though.
Well, I mean, you didn't need it with the way you were going after it with Keaton, but I was still surprised. I thought Andre would have more moments in transition at minimum in this game. And for whatever reason, just didn't. But I don't think that's a concern by any means. Tommy Ivisic hit the huge shots late. Before those 2 threes, he had 1 point to go along with what ended up being 8 rebounds.
Mm.
He did have 4 offensive rebounds. I do think Tommy's in the middle of the best rebounding stretch of his career.
Mm.
He's had 7, 7, 7, now 8 rebounds in the last 4 games, 3, 4, 3, 4 offensive rebounds, following the entire beginning of the season, first 2 months where he didn't have a game with 3 offensive rebounds. So whatever that come to Jesus moment was with Brad Underwood clearly worked as far as Tommy is concerned in terms of effort. I also, when he went to didn't he go to the free throw line? Was he the guy that shot yeah, he shot the flagrant free throws, right?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he shot the flagrant free throws. And Tommy hadn't scored, I think, at that point in the game. And he
Mm.
goes to the line for the flagrant free throws and makes 1 of 2. Then that must have got him off the schneid. Then he hits 2 huge threes late. Um, I don't know. I just tweeted when he was at the free throw line. I tweeted that's the first time I've noticed he's playing today, which I think obviously like sells short what he did on the glass. But I mean, minus the big moments from him late, this was a very quiet Tommy night. Is that a concern to you at all, or is it just Keaton was so good, nothing's a concern?
Yeah, nothing was a concern because what they did with Keaton kind of just it made for quiet games for everyone else.
Okay.
To which to the point, go ahead and take that one, Purdue, and put it in your winner's pocket, I guess. But also, a lot of guys were quiet, but also guys had very loud moments.
Yeah.
Everyone had a loud moment, it felt like.
Yeah. Okay. I can accept that. Um, there's a very different alternate version of reality of this. I mean, this just goes to show you how thin the margins are. But there's a very different alternate reality where Purdue holds their 5 point lead with 4 minutes left or whatever it was. And we come on a recap and basically say that Tommy getting 1 point is unacceptable.
Hmm.
That's not the version of reality we live in, but we weren't that far from it, I guess is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like credit to them, they made the plays late. Tommy's still very uninvolved in this whole thing, and I'm a little
I'm
confused
fine with
by
it.
it.
I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
Okay.
I'm fine with it because I mean, but you can understand why I'm fine with it.
Sure.
I didn't want to be involved in the first place.
Sure. I mean, I again they got the switches. That also meant they were switching guards on Tommy, and
Right.
Tommy did not attempt it too.
Well, 'cause I want space.
In fact, the two Ivisiches did not attempt a 2 point shot and attempted nine threes.
Space. We need space.
Yeah,
Space.
it was Merck who punked them. It was not the Ivisiches.
That's fair.
But that's fine.
You want Murthy a little more credit, don't you?
No, I just think this was an exploitable game from the Ivisiches that Purdue didn't do a ton with. Meanwhile, on the other end, we haven't gotten to Purdue's offense, but like Purdue shot 67% from 2 point range, while the Ivisiches are just running 3 point line to 3 point line.
It was a weird game when you think about it, honestly.
It's a very strange game. Very
Very
fun
strange
game.
game. Like highly entertaining, highly like fun, but like yeah, weird game.
Very fun game for sure. Trying to think if I got anything else on this. From an Illinois perspective, the free throw discrepancy was huge. They shot 22 free throws. That is double the amount of free throw attempts Purdue did. That very rarely happens in Mackey. However, credit to us, even though we're not a really smart show, we did call out the fact that this was likely to happen, and that was likely to frustrate Purdue at some point.
Mhm.
Illinois never fouls and gets to the line a good amount. Purdue never fouls and doesn't. So both of those things played true. I don't know. What did you think of the officiating? Did you think Illinois earned these calls?
I didn't think much of it was egregious, to be honest with you. Maybe that's just me looking the other way, and maybe it's because the game was so high level. It didn't feel like it was choppy, I guess, or anything like that. Of course, could be definitely a couple more calls for PG1 in there now and then, but outside of that, nothing like completely egregious.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought that's kind of the profile of who they are. I will say I'm very surprised any team ever gets more twice as many free throws as Purdue in Mackey Arena.
Mhm.
That was surprising to me as this played down the stretch. With that said, I did not think there were missed calls really all over the place. I just think that's who Illinois is.
Tougher, more physical teams shot more free throws. That's usually basketball,
And 13 of them were Keatons,
right? Because you were switching bigs on them.
right? Who couldn't guard him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else on the Illinois side of this before we do go to Purdue? This is definitely our longest recap ever.
Yeah, definitely.
Petro got 1 minute.
No, thank you. I think that about sums it up. Hell of a win. Hell of a win.
Yeah. Some great comments from everybody after. I think we're going to do a bunch of videos on it tomorrow, but Jay Davis saying that motherfucker couldn't miss.
I mean, facts.
And then yeah, just Merck said, well, I yelled for 7 minutes straight. Then I went in the locker room and broke chairs. If I didn't play in this game, I'd kill myself.
What a guy, man.
This Illinois team is so poorly media trained.
Oh, they're the worst media trained team of all time.
It's so funny and awesome.
But it's great for us.
And it's just the best part about it is it's all of them. Like the Aviciches are insane. Merck's insane. Jake Davis, the leader, is now doing this.
The only one that's fine is Keaton and House.
They just surrounded a bunch of freaks around an all-time composure guy.
Yeah.
It's such a funny contrast and it works. And I don't know, we used to call them the Real Housewives of Champagne. I'm trying to think of like the reality show version of this. Like who's Keaton? Who did they drop in the middle of the Real Housewives show that just like stabilized the entire thing?
I wish I could tell you. I'm gonna ask my sister.
Yeah. It's like I got to come up with a good one.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the only proper way to wrap this is a legit generational performance by Katon Waggler.
Yeah, was. All right, to the Purdue side.
They
What'd you see?
lost.
What'd you see from PG1? 27 points, 12 assists to one turnover from Braden. He goes 11 for 16 from the floor, made two of his three threes, 9 for 13 from two. I do think if there are gripes to be made, I thought Braden didn't get a couple and one calls he should have gotten,
Hmm.
especially at home. But man, another tough performance from him. He leaves with what looked like a very serious ankle injury. People in the arena were texting me that it looked like he wasn't putting any weight on it,
Hmm.
fearing the worst, of course. And then next media timeout, he was back in. Standing ovation. Brad Underwood, even classy move from him, was clapping for Braden with a smile on his face when he came back in. So I don't know, that was cool. But what how would you assess Braden's performance in this game?
Yeah, I thought that, coming off a performance where he was, a little bit banged up in that UCLA game and he didn't have his best showing, right? And he turned the ball over late a lot in that game. I thought Braden, I really don't know what more he could have done in this game, to be honest with you. I thought he was honestly one of the better rebounders for Purdue in this basketball game. I saw him in there mixing it up, even though he only had three. They only had 19 as a team. Like he was at least in there mixing it up a little bit. Looked like he was up for the fight, but you know, I don't know how to really critique Braden in this game. I thought that he did all that he could.
Yeah. I think there are some philosophical questions to ask with this Purdue team right now, but none of them apply to Braden. That's for sure. He's just continuing this crazy line of play. I think you could argue it's a little concerning that you're getting this level from him and it's still translating to an 0-2 week.
Yeah.
Like that feels like a pretty major red flag, no?
Well, it is because here's the thing. If you are not going to be good defensively, you need to at all times do your bread and butter, right? Do what you do best. And what this team does best is that on a nightly basis, they should have three of the better players on the floor. They should have the best shooter in the country. They should have one of the better post players in the country, and they should have one of the best PGs in the country. Best PG showed up. I
Yeah.
I can't I cannot say the same for the other two.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I would have thought if you told me Purdue goes 0-2 this week, honestly, I would have said Braden probably struggled somewhere along the way. And he wasn't great against UCLA, so maybe you can make that argument. But like to get an A plus Braden game at home in a must win spot and just be outdone, I think is a pretty rude awakening. Like that's not supposed to happen.
It's well, I mean, we're going to get to it eventually.
Now
It's
I
a
feel
bit
like a Purdue
it's
guy.
a bit it's a
That's
bit
not
of a
supposed to
gut
happen.
it's a bit of a gut check time for Purdue.
Yeah? What do you mean by that?
I mean, back-to-back games, you let a guy go nuclear, with this one being as nuclear can get. And last game it was, if we shoot the ball well, we win that basketball game. Everyone's freaking out. It's the offense, it's the offense, it's the offense. I mean, like you stated, they shot damn near 60% from two and almost 40% from three.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't the offense.
right.
I mean, maybe you should have been, maybe some guys could have been better in some spots, but the offense was not, you did not shoot bad in this basketball game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like what,
I don't
how do
know.
you stack that?
I'm having a hard time coming to terms with it too, and maybe this is a good like on the fly metaphoric representation of what I think this locker room has to do right now. Like you're right, it's gut check time. Some quick adjustments and changes to the way we approach this need to be made. I think it's pretty clear at this point, and I'm not talking X's and O's scheme wise, but I'm talking like mentality stuff.
Mhm.
If Purdue is just going to come into games and say, well, we fixed our defense with the players we brought in, we'll just out execute everybody offensively. I think they're going to lose
Mhm.
at some point before they want to lose. I think they're because like their offense is great. Purdue's offense is great. There are a lot of other great offenses that can match them though.
Mhm.
Like Illinois exceeded them, but I just think there's a lot of teams Purdue's playing this year and will play that can come close to this offensively. That also like have a much different toughness edge to them defensively than Purdue does.
Right.
And it's always been, I don't know, I don't want to say whiny, that's not the word, but it's just the number of times in the last 2 years since Edie left that this group of people have just throw our hands up and that weird guy made shots. They're not supposed to make shots. Those are the shots we wanted to force. Tip your cap to them. It's just not it's not where it needs to be.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know that that's changing. Like, is there anything that I don't think that can change really, you know?
No. Unfortunately, it's who they are.
Like so the answer has to just be even better offensively, but like they're already pretty effing great offensively. That's the problem here.
They need to be better.
They need Fletcher.
Yeah, they need Fletcher, to be
They
honest
need
with you.
Fletcher. Let's
They
do
need
the
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Let's do Fletcher. After my impassioned rant last week that Fletcher would snap out of it, he didn't. He finishes with 6 points on 5 shot attempts, 0 for 2 from inside the arc, 1 for 3 from three. Did chip in 3 rebounds in 20 minutes, which, as you have been very clear about, that matches or exceeds every non-Oscar Cluff player on this roster this game.
Hmm.
So when Fletcher Lawyer is one of your better rebounders in a game, probably a problem. Maybe most importantly here, Paint benched him. This was 20 minutes for Fletcher Lawyer, and he was not on the floor in crunch time of a must-win game against a conference championship contender.
That's crazy because I think that, also one thing we said in the last video is that, or I said it personally, I remember it. I'm like, get used to it when it comes down to it, at the end of I said at the end of the year, but I just meant in general, Fletcher Lawyer is going to be on the court. That didn't happen in this game, which shows me that, well, just one thing quite clearly here is that Payne is trying to send a message that Fletcher needs to play better. This is
Yeah.
like the first instance of like, you are not giving us anything right now. And I want to play you. You're the best shooter in the country, but the word you hate, your play right now is unacceptable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to rehash it. He was bad again. He missed his shots again. Obviously, this is a message being sent from Paint that I think is deserved at this point, I guess. Um,
I do want to say one thing though. Illinois deserves some credit for how they defended Fletch too, though.
yeah, they did good.
Thought they were like very like Fletch's volume being as low as it is. Um, I says something, and also like at this point too, it's crazy because Fletch goes 1 for 3 in this basketball game. But the thing is, like, even in the first half, I think Purdue went up 10, right? And Fletch gets this wide open look in the corner and shooting. You said that. I agree with you on that. It's shooting a three. 40% chance you make it, you're a really good three-point shooter. He misses that one, and then Big Z hits another one on the other end. Then Oscar Cluff gets fouled, misses the front end of the one-on-one. Then Keaton comes down and hits a three. All of a sudden, you go from up 10 to only up four at half. So it's like, we're just so used to Fletcher hitting shots and hitting big ones too when they need it. And now it's a point in the game that was close too, by the way. Like Purdue had all the chances in the world to win this basketball game. Payne thought they'd be better off without Fletcher on the floor.
That part hurts. And just a couple observations from me. I don't think I really noticed Fletch pouting or anything in this game. Did
Mm.
you?
No,
Like I didn't see anything visible, tangible that is concerning from like how did Fletcher interpret this in real time?
yeah, there were some players that had some emotional lapses, whiny moments in this game. It was not Fletcher.
Was not Fletcher. He was not contributing to that problem, which I think is a credit to him. Even as he is going through it, you don't have to worry about that side of this.
Mhm.
I want to, maybe I'm still defending my guy too much here. I am flat out surprised he wasn't on the floor in crunch time. I guess in some sense, I'm happy that they went this route for a couple reasons. Reason number one, hopefully it does send a message to Fletcher about something, even if it's as simple as, dude, you got to make your shots.
Mhm.
I don't love that message. I don't think that's necessarily going to work and make him make threes again. But at minimum, it's, hey, Fletch, if you're not making threes, something's got to change. Second, I don't think the benching worked at all.
Mhm.
I know Omer had a good game. To me, Omer had a good game in the early portion of this game when he was just playing his normal minutes. I do not think Omer was like making crunch time plays that won Purdue this
I
game.
mean, he was pretty good in that second half in the middle of it. He had the pull up and then he had the corner three or like the wing three. He was pretty good in that in like around that 10-12 minute mark of the second half.
He was good the whole game. I'm not denying that. I
No.
don't think in winning time I noticed anything that was like, oh, thank God they got Fletcher out for this.
Yeah.
Or at minimum, like, I mean, you blew a lead and Fletcher Lawyer was on the bench.
Mhm.
So like did you get what like did you get that improved defense that you're supposedly getting when you bench Fletcher Cart?
No, especially because they I mean one sticks out in particular. I think it was I can't remember the exact minute mark, but Omer basically doubled off the screen, was late to Jake Davis. Somebody had to rotate over to Jake Davis and Merck hit that corner three.
Yeah.
So, I
So
mean, they're
I
just they're a bad defensive team, man, straight up.
but I guess all I would say in the full Fletcher Lawyer convo that's a continuation of me going to war for him a week ago. Don't think you solve anything benching him. Don't think your defense is actually getting tangibly better. You did not get the stops you needed with Fletcher out of this game. I think, yes, you can put a better player in. If the player is Omer, he's not better defensively right now, at least. If anything, he's smaller. Um, on the offensive end, you've heard my piece about you just got to get him going. He's got to make shots. But um, I think, when Fletcher was on the court in this game, did you think he was the one contributing to the defensive problems even?
No,
Like to me, if Paint is gonna
but he didn't contribute to the offense either.
right, but if Paint is gonna bench him, I would have thought there were some real defense and or effort issues there that applied. And again, maybe I'm going to war for a guy that I'm just higher on than everybody else at this point. That's fair. I think this was warranted, and I give them credit for trying it. I just don't think it worked. And dog, he had the same number of defensive rebounds as the two starting bigs. Is that effort? Like we can't say he did nothing. He had the same number of defensive rebounds in 20 minutes. Fletcher Lawyer had the same number of defensive rebounds in 20 minutes as Oscar Cluff and Trey Kaufman-Renn combined for in 55 minutes.
Mhm.
We didn't bench those guys as they got torched defensively the whole game.
Yeah.
So to me, like my interpretation of this is just, well, Fletch, you missed your shots, you're out. That's a dangerous path to go down if that's what this was. That doesn't help a shooter get right. Now he needs to look himself in the mirror and get right. We all agree that's on him. But I would have thought this makes more sense to say, hey, must-win game against Illinois, Big Ten title potentially on the line. We're going away from Fletcher if he was making effort mistakes. And I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the only thing I would say that in this game in particular, like I think Omer making shots and playing well made it a little bit easier.
Just
Not
Omer
gonna,
made shots, so he earned it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's that. At least that's how I saw it.
All right. Fair.
But like I said, that's always going to be I just, you know, if you're going to provide spacing, you got to hit shots. Obviously, the Illinois is still going to be worried about Fletcher Lawyer at all times, but I really just think the reason this happened to me is because Omer started hitting shots.
That's fair. And if that's the approach they want to take this year, if a
But
bench,
I'm on the same page as you though. I thought it'd be like in that moment, all right, Omer's hitting shots, but then at a certain point, you know, are we not having Fletcher?
well, I just think it's like, I don't think the interpretation of like, oh, thank God, at least we're gonna upgrade the defense and rebounding now.
Mhm.
I don't think that played true with what happened here. I think you basically just thought, and if it's all about offense, if you just thought Omer was better than Fletcher offensively, at least I get that. But
Right.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. I mean, is it a real concern at this point? You said it was last game, and I pushed back hard.
I mean, as the games go on, it's just like, but this one, the thing is, the main issue wasn't even the he had three threes. You know me, I'm Fletch volume guy, and I give credit to Illinois on the defensive end, and that drop coverage probably made it very enticing for Braden to do what he had to do this game. I'm not saying he did the wrong thing, but you know, it's just it's the unfortunate part of Fletcher Lawyer, being the specialist that he is. I feel like so much hinges on him hitting shots, and and it's hitting 3-point shots, which is like we know, it ain't layups, it ain't dunks, it's a 3-point shot, and he goes through these lulls. It's just getting to a certain point where like now you add it up, it's like eventually, when is it the point? I mean, here's the thing: even if there is like a point, like there is no breaking point. Like, what are they gonna do? Bring Fletcher off the bench? That's not going to happen.
I mean, that could. I think that would require Benter to be amazing. And he wasn't in this game either. He was,
He's Jack. Once, I mean, I love what he's brought, but also at the same time, you got to remember it is Jack Benter.
yeah. Jack was just in foul trouble and missed his threes. But I guess I just think this is a dangerous slope.
Mhm.
Okay, we tried it. Fletch better respond. Hopefully he does. I don't think you want this to become every game whoever makes the threes gets to play. I don't think you want that.
Well, do you think Omer did other things outside just making shots though? Because I feel like he did some good things passing wise.
Yeah. Yes. Omer was good. I'm not trying to come in here knocking Omer. I like Omer a lot. But
Hmm.
do I like Omer at the three with CJ Cox and Braden? No, I think that's a huge part of why you got out rebounded so woefully here.
Right. Oh, yeah. But do you think they did that because of like the foul trouble though? Like because Benter had four and then TKR had three or four, which we eventually got to get to that.
Yeah, I think Trey still played what at his season average for minutes, unless I'm wrong.
Did he?
Played 26. Isn't that about what he's normally at right now?
Probably. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's normally at. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, it definitely contributed to the rebounding issues.
yeah. Okay. Cluff. We've covered the defense. 9 points, 4 for 5. Clearly, still when they get Cluff shots at the rim, it's basically the best thing they can do. Um, I guess the whole Purdue front court, it did feel like they were offensively scoring enough to win this game. It worked, them going inside. Trey was 6 for 8 from two, and Oscar was 4 for 5. Braden was also cooking. So I don't know. have changed anything? Do you think they went there enough in the post in this game? And what'd you see?
Um,
Trey
I
got some
think
good bounces again. Some of those shots that haven't been going in went in.
yeah. As I was watching this, I didn't find myself saying go in the post more. So I think I'll stick with that. I think that they were effective when they got it down there, and I thought that it's a good thing for them. And I didn't really think even the offense necessarily was that massive of it. Like there were some spots I thought, but I don't know. I thought that they did it enough in this game. Could they have done it more? Maybe, but also at the same time, I feel like Braden was seeing that drop coverage off of there, and he was killing in the mid range and making plays off of that. So I thought that was fine.
Oscar, 29 minutes. He was not in foul trouble. Daniel Jacobson got the other 11 at the five. DJ finished with 4 and 2 in 11 minutes. I believe DJ was +8. And outside of Braden, who was also in 37 minutes, Braden was +2, I believe. Team was -8 in the 3 minutes Braden Smith didn't play.
Mhm.
Crazy. But DJ was the only other guy in the positive. I know plus minus can be a misleading stat at times. Were you surprised that Cluff got 75% of the minutes at the five in this game?
Um, Given his rebounding, I was, but I'm surprised to hear that. You know how I am with DJ. The minute that he had dunked that ball in the first half and it got blocked and it led to an Illinois transition three, I was pretty livid. But given how I do think that there is a little bit of length involved with him. And maybe you sacrifice some things offensively, but also at the same time, do you really care about what in this game, particularly about getting it into DJ? No, I feel like you want him to hopefully help on rebounding and things like that, or some shot blocking. But at the same time, if Daniel Jacobson was seeing Katon Waggler coming off the screen, is there probably a different outcome?
Yeah, I don't know.
To me, anytime DJ stepped up, instead of DJ actually stepped up, but Katon Waggler just blew past him and went to the hoop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I This game was really bad from Cluff. I think that's where I'm at with it. And I don't know if I would have changed anything. I don't think DJ was good. I don't think DJ looks ready for these big games really at all. But I am very surprised, given what was happening to Oscar from start to finish, that that's all they went with, really. Now, that's the same with the scheme. I would have changed that. But just in general, like if you've decided, okay, that's the scheme. To me, DJ is the more mobile of the two. He's longer, he's bigger. I think he probably does bother Keaton more if you're going to play that scheme.
Hmm.
So I'm just kind of stunned where they've landed at with Cluff here. I really am. And
Well, that goes back to the in-game adjustment portion of it. I would have tried that scheme. The DJ, the scheme you had was not working.
yeah,
If it was a scheme to get stops, it was not working.
it's just been a weird week for Oscar, man. He's been so good the entire year that it's hard to really like question a couple bad games.
I I think what it is he just has shortcomings. That's all it is.
I mean, Card, he has two defensive rebounds in the 52 minutes this week against Illinois and UCLA.
That's just, once again unacceptable.
Two defensive rebounds against Xavier Booker, Tyler Bilodeau, the Aviciches, and Merck.
How's it? That's unfathomable.
It's really concerning to me. And when you mix in the fact that no matter what they're trying to do defensively, Oscar seemingly can't do it right now.
Hmm.
I mean, he could not hedge and recover against UCLA quick enough, and he could not switch on Keaton.
Right.
But I don't think I feel like the Purdue staff is searching desperately for answers on what are we supposed to do with Oscar Cluff at the core of this. And I think it's January 25th and they don't know.
Right. And here's the thing. He was brought in to help your rebounding. You
Right.
brought in Oscar Cluff so you didn't have games like this.
Right.
This is what has happened so far this year. Like that game they've been good. Now they've been faltering a little bit on that end, but like you brought in Oscar Cluff to help you with rebounding, and a front court of Oscar Cluff and Trey Kaufman-Renn combined for 5 rebounds in this basketball game.
Right. Right. Yeah. They got to figure it out. I'm not sure they do. I kind of think this is who Oscar is. Like, obviously, he can play better. He can't guard the perimeter better.
No, well, you know what it is. It's we always talk about, yeah, Oscar Cluff's the number one offensive rated player in the country, offensive rating wise. That's he's an offensive player.
Right.
I think he's an even as a rebounder, I think he's an offensive player.
He's been better as an offensive rebounder than a defensive rebounder this year by a lot.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
His shortcomings are on the defensive end both ways.
Think defensively, it's a find your level thing. I just think he's a mid-major defensive big. I think offensively and brute strength and all that, rebounding in general, fine. Second chances, yes. Clearly, he can play at the Big Ten level. He's had some amazing games this year. Like he's had some amazing games this year, um, including 15 and 15 against Toppin.
Mhm.
Like clearly, he is capable. I'm not saying he's not, but I just think conference play is a different beast, man. I think in November and December, you're playing teams that, yes, they scout you, but they're going to see you for 2 hours and then they don't see you again. Right? Like, excuse me, but like in the Bahamas, it's like it's almost its own little universe.
Mhm.
Kind of roll the ball out and see what we got. In conference play, you are scouted to no end. And if one team finds something that works against you, everybody knows it.
Right.
Like the jury is out. If there's a weakness to be found and someone in the Big Ten finds it, everybody finds it.
Right.
This week feels like it's that to me with Cluff. This week feels to me, oh, if they're going to play him 30 minutes at the 5 with Trey Kaufman-Renn next to him, all we got to do is put Cluff in ball screens.
Yeah.
And no matter what Purdue decides they're going to do, it won't work because it's Oscar Cluff in ball screens.
Right.
And if that is what happens here, don't know what they do. I don't think there's a backup plan. I don't think you can go to DJ. Like,
No, I mean, you want to know what probably is the thing?
what?
TKR and Cluff. I'm sorry, TKR and Benter.
TKR at the 5.
Yeah.
But I think then they just do the same thing to Trey. Like they don't have a big on the team that can guard ball screens.
Right.
They didn't
Well,
go
I
out
mean,
and get that. They got the big that can rebound.
well, if you're gonna do that, you want to know what you probably do? Probably chase guys off and play drop.
Play drop.
Play
That's
drop. Look what Illinois does. They don't have bigs that can guard ball screens. They
right.
have wing defenders and guard defenders that chase off the back and they play drop.
It's almost like they need to accept that they didn't fix the things they thought they fixed
Right.
and go back to last year's defensive scheme
Yeah.
that you ran with first.
Yeah.
And that probably asks more of your guards, but you have the personnel to do that this year.
Right.
You get more Jakari, more Omer, and just cycle those guys
Right.
and play hard. But for
Yep.
whatever reason, they're not. It's like they have an identity crisis on that end right now.
Hmm.
And when I watch it, I think Painter thinks Cluff can do this.
I
That's
mean,
shocking to me.
he was in at the end of the game, so
It's shocking to me. I don't. I mean, do you agree with me? I don't think he can do this.
no, he's
Like,
not. He is who he is.
and I think everyone on Purdue is like, wait a second, you can't move better.
Right. You can't move better. You can't defensive rebound better.
It's weird.
Yep, but it's facts at this point.
It's weird right now. Um, Other Purdue things quickly. I'm assuming you did not. Did you watch the players' press conference after this game?
Mm-mm.
Who do you think was there? There were three of them.
Braden, Oscar, Fletch,
Braden, Oscar, and Trey.
Braden, Oscar, Trey.
Purdue's self-appointed, everyone agrees on the team, vocal leader was not at the podium after being benched in this game.
Mm.
That's fine. I'm assuming Fletch would have still taken the podium, but I'm assuming they just said, "Hey, we're going to send these three."
All
Okay.
right, we don't want you in there just getting asked why you only played 20 minutes, basically.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not worried about that part of this. If you watch it, Braden was actually super complimentary. I mean, it was a pretty frigid response as you would expect from three guys that just lost a big game. But like in terms of like Braden's annoyed to be here press conferences,
Hmm.
this one was pretty low on the list. He was very just like, man, Wagler's incredible. Like that dude, he's a lottery pick. He's incredible. Like he was very complimentary as you could be about him. Oscar was not. I mentioned the quote. Just, yeah, I mean, you have 4 or 5 step backs from the logo. What do you do? Kind of dismissive. And Trey said nothing the whole time. I think at one point someone directly was like, Trey, any thoughts? And he said what Oscar said. Should I pull the body language PhD out here at all, or are we on watch? What is your perception of just vibes right now with this team?
I'll give you the chance to speak on it before maybe I do with TKR specifically.
I don't know what to call it.
To me, it's a lot of it's okay pat on the backs going around. And the only player that I think would come speak, only two players I think would speak up and be like, "This is unacceptable. We gotta play. We gotta be better than this." Is Braden Fletch. But coming from a game where you just got out rebounded the way you do, and your front court one is like, "Yeah, what he said," and the other one's like, "Well, they just hit shots. Uh, hands up. It happened. Oh, I don't know. It's bad, man. And look, the level of toughness that was required to defensive rebound in this game was not there. And I'll be just straight up with it. I hated TKR's body language this whole game. Even like not even from an effort standpoint. I'm just saying like I'm all for the shit talking. I'm all for that. Don't talk shit and grab 2 rebounds in a basketball game.
Yeah.
Don't get caught. He got we to me, I don't even know the way to put it. He got way too emotional in this basketball game. He
It
was
was
way too
it was
he
weird.
he was way too like involved with like Merck and his little pushing and just like flail and like just like so demonstrative in how he was like going about this game and it was weird.
It was weird, and it's not the first time that's happened.
It's
Right?
it's, it's this season. It's weird.
We've talked about this in some of the previous games where he had like really, really concerning game logs, but like what was it the Iowa game where he wouldn't give the ball back?
Yeah, so it's
The
I
USC
think we
game, maybe?
thought it was like an effort thing. It's not an effort thing. It's like it's an attitude thing with him.
He's just like weirdly chippy intense in the misdirected ways, I think.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, a little distracting.
Well, here's what it is too, and this is what I feel like I was told, or like I've been told in my mediocre Division 3 basketball days. It comes across as somebody trying to show they are tough via like shit talking or getting in the mix or doing this or being demonstrative, where it's, you know, there's other ways to show it. Or it's like it's also like T-Car needs to be himself. Like that's not who he is.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying to put that character on almost.
Right. Or like overcompensate for something.
But I don't even I don't know, we're psychoanalyzing it. I don't want to do that. I still
Well, if we don't want to psychoanalyze, can we just analyze the fact that he had 2 rebounds?
yeah, it was bad. I just but the weird part of it was like, yeah, it was the intensity stuff. It was just weird. It was misplaced, and it's been misplaced in this month. It's
But
like,
and the only thing you had to lean back on with that is like what's going on, like what's up. Like it's a simple like what's up, are you okay question.
Here's, I think, maybe a good way to make it not all about TKR, but discuss why I think his contributions to this have been a little concerning to me. I think this group as a whole is really emotional,
Hmm.
and I love it about Braden. He's an emotional player. I love it. So I can't be like, hey, I love it from him and I don't love it from this guy. I'm not here to do that. I think these guys all love each other, and when it goes well, their emotions are funneled toward the right thing. When a team is really, really, really emotionally driven, or it's just a part of who they are, it can also go south. And I think at home in Mackey Arena, they were the less composed team from the jump
Yeah.
against a team full of freshmen and internationals.
Yeah.
And that's not ever supposed to happen. Like, I don't understand how composure should be a problem for a team with three seniors that have played so many minutes together, but it is. Right now, like, whatever this emotion intensity stuff, it's clearly not helping Fletcher produce. It's not getting the best version of Trey. We know that. And you could argue this has been the worst month of Trey's last 2 years.
Hmm.
And then Braden individually has been great, but it's a lot of stuff going on. Every game is a lot of stuff going on. And then you're right. I think they handle losses really terribly, which should be obvious. This team never really loses.
Hmm.
They're 17-3, 18-3. So I like it's really dumb to come on here and act like the sky is falling and or like this team doesn't know how to lose. I don't want them to know how to lose. That would mean they lose a lot. I don't These guys aren't losers, they're winners. But it reminds me of what one of my big takes was following the Iowa State game. And I remember some people kind of criticized me for it. And I don't think I fully understood how to say it the right way. I don't think this team handles adversity well when it's a wake up call of like, we aren't the best here.
Hmm.
I think Iowa State, part of the reason that snowballed was they were like, how is this happening? We're the number one team. Why isn't this working?
Hmm.
And then I think UCLA was its own beast. You just fell apart in the final 4 minutes, whatever. This game again to me felt like what offensively, like we're killing. What? Why?
Yeah.
Why
Why
can't
does
we
that freshman
stop?
keep hitting shots? Why can't we get a rebound?
Yeah, wait, what? Like we're doing what we said we do. We're scoring 1.3 points per possession. We're the best offense in the sport. Braden's playing great. Trey's floaters are falling. Oscar's 4 for 5. Like, other than Fletch, like offensively, everything was fine. It's just that it's missing. And it's when they look up and they're playing well offensively and they're tied at home with a team they were favored by 5 against. I do think there's a whole, like, all the stars and everybody look around like, this isn't right.
Well, to that theory, I mean, in the last like 3:30, I think it was like Illinois goes on an 11-2 run.
Yeah. And then it's then you lose the game and then you're at the podium and it's just like, well, we got what we wanted. And I'm sick of hearing that, respectfully, to everybody involved. I didn't like it when Paint came out and said, well, those are the shots we wanted to live with. And now your center saying it off a stinky performance effort wise. Like, I don't like it. And they said this stuff after the Iowa game too. And we just let it go because they won.
Mm.
Right. But even in that game, it was like, well, Bennett took the ones we wanted. Like, at a certain point, like, I got to see the backbone from this group of vets. And whether you call it the way they handle losses or handle adversity or whatever, it's really emotional and it's not working. And I think the reality here is unavoidable at this point. They're 2 games back of a Fred Hoiberg team midway through the conference season. They were the preseason number 1 team. They've played well for most of the season. They made the roster changes. There's no more excuses. But we are at the midway point of the season, and you are 2 games back of Fred Hoiberg. Now, I don't know if that's going to change, last, or what, but there's certainly a gap between what Purdue thinks they are and what they've been. Right now, this team looks like the fifth best team in the league.
Right.
Michigan State is fourth in the country on KenPom. Michigan is second in the country on KenPom. Illinois just beat you at your house. And oh, by the way, Fred Hoiberg's 2 games up and hasn't lost a game in a year. It's kind of one of those things, and it's just I don't want them to come to terms with it. I want them to respond to it.
Right.
And I don't feel to this point in the season they've responded. I think they're just like, we just got to keep being us. No, you got to be better than us. You have to raise your game to get where you think you were just going to coast to this season.
And we thought the response would come in this game, and it didn't.
And it didn't.
And it didn't. Yeah.
And now it's back against the wall against the rival on the road, which is not going to be an easy game.
No, not at all. But yeah, it's about responding. It is about responding, and it's less of this arms up and oh, woe is me, oh, this happened. And it's a little bit more, yeah, taking it to another level, figuring it out somewhat, making it
Yeah.
happen. Because, not to do the thing where we big up our guy on this one, but the one thing I'll say this, Braden might be emotional, but he knows how to hone that shit and take it out on other people.
Right.
Think some others could maybe do the same.
He's also, yeah, he's delivering. Like his production speaks for itself. You need that production from the others.
Right.
And until you get it, vulnerable,
Very.
vulnerable. And for this to happen in Mackey original too is crazy. I mean,
You said Mackie what?
Mackie original.
Oh, Mackie original.
Yeah,
OG Mackie.
that's one of 2 jokes I have that I'd like to make before we wrap this, is if that's okay.
So what's the second joke?
Well, so yeah, Mackey original. Formerly a really difficult place to play. Second loss at home this year. I don't know. State Farm East, I guess, is tough. And then meant to do this before we close the Keaton portion of this. I get it now. I get it now.
What?
Jakari did have 40 that practice. Shouldn't have been that surprised, I guess.
Oh, what are they gonna do in ball screen coverage next game?
I don't think they know.
Can we try to help them?
Aren't we already doing that? I think we've tried to help by taking a week-long break from the pod, but I would point this out to any skeptics. Us not doing the pod seems to maybe be the problem here.
Could be a thing. Even though it is unequivocally against what this team does, should they play zone?
I don't think they ever would, but I don't know that it would be worse than this. I just think it's go back to the scheme you did most of Big Ten play last year.
Okay,
Play
but
drop and have your guards chase.
here's the thing though. For everything y'all said, that doctor's a better defender than Oscar Cluff is.
Ooh, I don't know that I'd go that far.
I would.
On the perimeter, yeah. On the perimeter for sure.
It might not just be the perimeter.
Maybe. Maybe. Do you trust him to figure it out?
No.
You don't.
Well, what's figure it out?
A Final Four.
I think
And-
they can still make a Final Four.
okay. Where do they finish in conference play?
Fourth.
Out of the group of 5, who do they leapfrog? You not buying Nebraska to maintain it,
I
or
think Illinois is going to drop a few without Kylan.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one of these 2 teams would you rather be for the remainder of the season? If you're trying to win championships, hang banners, Big Ten tournament, and Final Four, which one of these two would you rather put your faith in?
Such an impossible question. Because I put my faith in Braden. And still, even given what has happened, Paint.
I promise my faith's in both Braden and Keaton,
Well, here's my thing. My faith in everything else outside of Braden is withering.
for sure. And your faith in the role players from Illinois is increasing.
Yes. They showed a level of mental toughness that I did not think that they had. And Purdue showed a level of mental toughness that I didn't think they were capable of as far in the negative direction.
Swap Braden and Keaton and keep everything else the same. What happens to these two teams
In this game,
overall?
overall,
In my opinion,
ooh,
these are the two best point guards in the country.
I'd be so scared of Braden's demeanor with Avicic and Merkovich.
That's like in a good way, like it would work, or
Yeah, but it's like in a good way, but also like we hold the fate of the world in our hands as well.
see, I don't think Braden and Balkans works. I think that's too crazy. Like Keaton is calm, and those guys need a calm guy.
See, but the thing is, Purdue doesn't need a calm guy.
That's the thing. I think oddly enough, both teams get worse if you swap them,
Probably, yeah.
which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Nah, F that. Illinois is nasty with Braden. Fuck that balking noise. I don't give a damn about none of that.
Okay. Okay.
They might lose a member or two to suspension along the way, but
Well,
that,
and we got to remember too, they already have Braden.
oh yeah, yeah,
They
true.
have Milo.
But to go back to the question you asked me though about believing in this team,
Uh-huh.
I don't believe that they have the intestinal fortitude to take one from Payne on this one to snap out of it.
Really?
No.
I think they do.
Do you think the team does?
It's Braden's
Which members of the team do?
Braden's team, right?
Yeah,
Then yeah, I think the team does.
we'll
Braden's
see.
already responding.
Who's gonna follow his lead?
Fletcher will. There's a history of him responding.
Okay, that'll be massive. That here's all right, honestly, that's the scariest part about all this. I believe, because I agree with that point. Fletcher is the main one he's the main one after these losses and shit that he's like, man, this is dog poop performances, this, that, and the third. I believe his performances are going to come to the level and meet the expectations that he set for himself and the team sets for him. Like everyone else is like Oscar Cluff's over here, like, well, he had shots, mate. I only got 2 rebounds, mate. Like TKR is visibly just like trying to get into wars with David Merkovich.
Which again makes me feel like none of them knew what Illinois was. Like you don't want to antagonize their antagonist.
Well, maybe it was like antagonize Merk, get him out of his zone a little bit, but Merk just was like,
Dude, the number one way to get to Mert is to just score on him and say nothing. That would drive Mert insane and be wildly distracting to him.
right. But on the very first bucket of the game, on a 17-foot floater, might I add, which by the way, when TKR took those last 2 floaters, the one that hit like every inch of the backboard 9 times before going in, those shot attempts were garbage. Glad they
Yeah.
went in though. Meanwhile, wide open threes on the other end for Illinois too, by the way. Um, the very first hook shot of the game, like I don't, and this is me saying this. This is the wrong messenger. Like I'm all for a little shit talk, but dog, you you are visibly yelling, untucking your jersey, pointing, yelling, screaming, like for the whole time down the court.
Yeah.
Like, like what?
Yeah, it just felt misplaced.
It's just like this.
It was a Twilight Zone day for Purdue, which is crazy because, like I said, there's an alternate reality not all that far away where they just hold on to that 5 point lead. And this conversation looks and sounds entirely different. But the moment we start to say that is the moment we start to make the excuses that we're criticizing them for making.
And how does that make you feel good too? Last thing for me.
What? That we blew a lead?
Two straight games.
Yeah, it's not good.
Two straight games when it came to winning time, last 4 minutes, coach speak, 4 minute segments.
Just couldn't get stops.
And you
Couldn't get stops.
got boxed up by Mick Cronin and got boxed up by Brad Underwood.
Couldn't get stops when needed. I am. Who's it on? Like for the response, we're saying they got to respond. Who are you looking at first to respond? For me, it's Painter.
Paint, yeah.
I think Payne's put him in a disastrous spot back to back games, and I need that to change immediately.
Yeah, it's paint for me too.
And then I think it's Fletcher, and then Trey, and then all of the other guys, all the other role players, basically. Like Braden's already been responding, I feel like.
Yeah. But I'm looking at paint. Look at paint. And look, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, who are y'all questioning paint or whatnot? Like, no one's above like being put in these situations. I mean, shit, you and I spent 3 years ago, 2 years ago, asking like what the hell Tom Izzo's doing. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Sometimes these guys have these moments. Paint's not exempt to that.
right. And also, like in Payne's defense, if Illinois had their starting shooting guard, Kylan Boswell, who is averaging, let me just make sure I get this correct for you real quick. If they had
We
Kylan,
almost made it.
who's averaging 14, 4, and 4 on 48% from the floor this year, and is the only elite perimeter defender that Illinois has. If they had him, Purdue would have won by double digits. So that's just some bad luck for Paint that Illinois was without their third best player.
Fair.
Yeah. Do you think if Purdue was without Oscar Cluff, would Illinois have won? How can we flip this on them? That's such an asinine idea, man. I can't get over.
Sorry, I'm really reading. I'm reading this thread.
There's a thread?
Like he's responding to the thread.
Ay, ay, ay.
Like he said, this dude here thinks Waggler gets 46 without the ball in his hands every single play. Smart guy, and he's like in the comments fighting.
It just reeks of I haven't watched Illinois,
It's bad.
but
Stress class.
this actually is a real okay. Yeah, we got to get out of here. We've done cash the over. We cashed
Cash
the
the
over
over.
easily. Yeah,
And honestly, I think we got out of here early.
yeah. I could do another 45.
Easy. Well, maybe another 46.
Illinois is still in my national title, by the way.
I still want them.
Can I get credit for being out in front of this?
I still want them.
I was out in front of this with them.
I still want them.
You want both these teams. Your team is so tough. Oh my God, you're tough.
Hey, Greg. We might also be good.
Y'all have nothing for these offenses.
We might be good.
You're good now?
I think we might be good.
Really?
Oh, wait, hold on. We got nothing for what?
I don't think you have anything for Keaton and Braden. No. You do? What do you have? Golf balls?
No, we're boxing that shit up.
Like physically punching?
No, like
Is this like when you
you.
told me CJ Cox had a satchel and then his coach said, let's switch everything?
Yeah, about that.
We're getting rid of that. Are you actually lighting the satchel on fire? Oh my God, you're Keatoning the
That sounds
satchel.
over. Okay, that's really dangerous.
Yeah, don't burn my nephew down.
Okay.
All right,
There's a hole. There's a
congrats.
hole in the satchel.
Congrats, Illinois. There's a lot of holes in Purdue's defense. Congrats, Illinois. Hang in there, Purdue. If you're looking for running point, we are supposed to do that after the Indiana game this week. That's going to be a doozy.